How about some general thoughts about the season to date?
We finally got some games under our belt, and we're able to kind of identify strengths and weaknesses, and apply that to practice. And in a week we'll be ready for conference play.
I watched you in Cheyenne. You had some really good stretches, but then you had some kind of not so good stretches.
Yeah, our game against Sheridan I thought was one of our best ones. We played two really good quarters against East, battled with South, and then just didn't really show up on Saturday against Central. And that's kind of in the back of our mind, and we're trying to fix some of those things that went on during that game.
We're talking about a couple of players. First, Sarah Lamb at the guard spot. What is she providing?
We talked to her a lot about getting her shots up, getting her points. We're not successful if her and a couple others aren't scoring their 4 to 6 points, and we need that production from her.
And Madison Vittich, we know what kind of athlete she is, and you probably expect a lot from her this season too.
Yeah, I think for me, just her being that calming force for the rest of us is, a big deal. Being able to take the ball in her hands and get us in our offense, and she's definitely someone we look to get us out of sticky situations.
Looks like Jamia Johnson has a good sense of the game. It's a matter of just putting that all together.
Yeah, she really worked hard this summer to work on the mental aspects of the game, and she's seeing some of that pay off now. Keeping her head cool in hot situations, battling down there in the post. That's never any fun, but she's coming along.
I noticed too is that when there's an uptick in your performance, it starts with defense, which leads to layups on offense.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the staple for any coach. Hopefully, is your defense leads to your offense, and that was not the case for us on Saturday. So we took a couple steps back to take that into account, and we got to have it in order to win games.
Moving forward now, some areas that you're really looking at to work on in practice?
The defensive end, and getting stops, finishing every possession with a rebound. Teams need to be one and done on their offensive end. On the offensive end for us, just pushing the ball up the court a little bit faster and getting teams on their heels.